If you're looking for an easy way to break down a US30 market, well, you're in luck because in this video, we're going to go over my game plan for the upcoming week, especially with it being an election week and FOMC coming up. Then we're also going to talk about my entry zones, my exit zones, and my profit target zones. So let's go ahead and jump right into this particular video. And one thing to know, this is actually my second time filming this because my other computer decided it wanted to not restart. So the first level I'm going to mark off is right here at 43.33. Basically, this is the highest point price has made inside of the market so far. So that's going to be the first one. And then the second level I'm going to mark off is going to be around here at 40,198, almost 40,200 flat. So now that we got that, let's go ahead and go to the daily time frame. So cool. So now that we're on the daily, there are a couple of areas that I would probably like to mark off as well, now that we got a lot more data. So the first thing I want to mark off here is going to be right here, actually, at 41,000, let's just say 858. So really close to 860. And then there's another area that I do want to mark off as well. So actually do I want to do it right here? This area right here. So there's a couple of things or a few things that I see. So the first thing I see is this area right here where there's a lot of consolidation. Next, I see price break up, form support right here. And then I also see a resistance right here. Right here around 41,500 and let's just say 30. And that is going to do it for this time frame. So let's go ahead and go down to the daily now that we have a lot more zones for us to work with. Now that we have some more zones to work with, let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, so up in here, this is kind of a big zone for me. So I do want to mark off some levels here. So one thing I'm going to do is look at this level at, what is this, 43,000, almost 0.50. So I'm going to mark off a level right there. I don't know what is happening here. So mark off this level right here, mainly because we have a nice support here, and then we also have a support right here. And then the other level that I want to mark off is going to be right about 42,700, mainly because we have a lot of touches within here, and then we also have some nice supports over here as well. So that is looking good to me. So now that we got a lot more info, let me see, I do want to move this down just a little bit and just make this a little bit slimmer. And then looking at this level right here, this is still looking really good. We have all of these rejections in this area right here. So that is awesome. And then over here where we have more so recent price action, we do see a dip kind of below here, but price is essentially in this kind of consolidation range. So that's still looking good. And then over here, I'm just adjusting this level. We do have price touching here, here, and then we have support here and so forth. And this is at 41,000, let's just say 41,575. That's a nice level right there. And we do have this really big range right in here. So I want to break this up a little bit, just so that way inside of here, we don't have this really big zone. We just want to break it up so that way it provides better trading opportunities, or for us to be able to see trading opportunities inside of the market. So I'm going to place this level right here at 40,700 and let's say 65, mainly because down here, we do have quite a bit of rejections throughout here. We have a support right here, and we do have a lot of consolidation here, but for the most part, it's looking good. Actually, let's go ahead and go down to H2. All right, so here we are back at the top. Everything is still looking great. And here we do have this area where price came up, looked like it was going to continue to push up, but it actually came back into the zone right here. So really nothing to do right there. So now let's go down to the other levels. I see some little supports here, but then I see more support here. So let me just adjust this and see if I want to pull it down and see how this would look. So basically, I'm just trying to find the area of best fit. I kind of like this right here, to be honest. Let me move this right here. I'm actually going to move it right here at 41,400 and let's say 85, mainly because we have two really strong supports right here. We have a couple rejections and then we also have more rejections right there. So that is looking good. And then I'm just looking at these other levels that we drew. I don't really see anything for us to do. Although right here, we do have this really big wick right here. Right now, it's tapping into the zone. So for now, it is okay. Let's see how it looks on the H1 time frame. All right, so going back to the top, we can see that things are pretty much lining up nicely here on the H1 time frame. And then let's just scoot over and just see how more recent price action looks. Like we do have some overhang and things like that. Let me see how this will look if I push this up. You actually like it right here better. This is at 42, 458, almost 60, mainly because more so recent price action. We do have resistances and rejection, all of that throughout there. And I do like the way that lines up. It may not look perfectly on this other side. We want to prioritize the things that have happened more recently instead of always looking so far back. So another thing that I want to look at is over here. If we look at old price action, we can see perfectly that all these things are lining up really well. Same thing here. So I'm not really seeing anything that I want to change. Let me just scoot this all in just to make sure that I'm getting a nice bird's eye view of everything. You know what? Actually, one thing that I do want to add is another level here on H1. So I see a lot of price action in this zone, and I'm actually going to push this up right here to 42,250. Wow, that works out perfectly. So let's zoom in and I'm going to tell you why. So if we look at more so recent price action, we can see very clearly that price came up above this level, formed a resistance, tried to go up higher, but rejected quite a bit. And then it came down and it stopped here. So we can see also in the zone that at these wicks right here, we have a nice little support level as well. So that's something that you can keep on your chart. I definitely will keep it on mine. And we do have some areas in here where prices were forming supports and it basically just held. So we have support up here, we have resistance down here. I think it makes for a great level inside of the market. So for this particular market, this is pretty much the markup. And now we go into the analysis portion of the video where we talk about my game plan. When it comes to my game plan for this upcoming week, basically I am more so concerned about the US election. Obviously, that's a really big deal because we're going to figure out who's going to be the president for the next 4 years. And then the other thing that I'm also looking at is FOMC. FOMC is basically the Federal Open Market Committee where they figure out whether or not we are going to have a rate cut, and if so, by how much. So based on a lot of things that I've been reading, it seems that the rate cut can either be 0.25%, which is 25 basis points, or 0.5%, which is 50 basis points. And depending on what the actual number is, it could make this market very bullish or a little bullish or maybe very bearish or a little bearish. So that's one of the reasons why I'm looking to wait until those numbers are produced. Now, clearly we saw inside of this market on the weekly time frame, we closed with a bearish candle, and the week prior also had a bearish candle. And we can very clearly see that this is a downtrend here on the H1 time frame. So will there be continued sells? I don't know. But generally, I like to be someone who follows the trend. So as far as my game plan goes for this upcoming week, just focusing on more so recent price action, then my plan here is basically just to continue with the trend. So let's just say price was to come below here, and if price maybe a candle closed below here or something like that, then that could be our way to enter the market here. Another thing that I'm seeing is this little level right here. Price refused to break below this level. So this is telling me that this is relatively a strong level, and I drew this at 41,747. You can round this up to 750 and still be fine. But basically, the fact that price came into the zone quite a bit and it bounced off and still pushed up with a lot of force, this tells me that this level is quite strong. So yes, I could take a sell here, and I even could take a sell here because I would be essentially going with the trend. So that definitely is an idea. But for the most part, I would be very careful around this level because price could potentially bounce like it has here before. So, like I said, that's an idea. So, if I'm really going to look for sales, at least for me in the way that I trade, just to be a little bit safe, I want to wait until price goes below here and then maybe target right here. And then, of course, depending on how price action goes, there could be continued sales all the way down here. And I wouldn't just view this as just going down in a straight line because this is a lot of price action over here. So what I would do is scoot over to the left. Oops, if I could get over to the left and just see where the obstacles are. So I see very clearly, at least for me, that a potential level is right there. So that could be maybe my initial target if I was to take a short from here. And then let's just say for some reason, if price decided to go up from one of these levels, I would be looking for the buy. Now, of course, this would be a counter trend trade for sure. So just definitely be a little bit careful. But let's just say we go back to where price stopped at on Friday. And if price was to do something like continue to consolidate around this area and then push up, breaking these highs, then this could be a nice trade idea for a buy. Yes, it would be a counter trend trade, but it would be a nice idea. And then for me, anything above here, going all the way to here could be a really good buying opportunity inside of the market. So this is basically the market and the way that I see it so far. Of course, we have to wait for further price action and especially figure out what's going to happen on Tuesday and Thursday of next week before we just start hopping into the market. So I'm probably not going to do anything with this market or any market until the news of these two events come out. And then if I don't see anything that's tradable, I may wait to the next week to possibly take a trade. Just want to make sure that I'm protecting my capital and just keeping everything as safe as possible. So if you found this helpful, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. And I'd love to read your comments. If you have other ideas for other videos, maybe that you want me to create on this channel, then go ahead and post those down in the comment section below. And I'll see you next time.